infectious diseases, research, medicine, health. Welcome to Outbreak News Interviews. And now, broadcasting from the Outbreak News Skylar Studios in beautiful West Central Florida, here is your host, microbiologist and editor of OutbreakNewsToday.com, Robert Harriman.
Well, hey everybody, this is Robert, and welcome to Outbreak News Interviews. Now today, the CDC released updated numbers on the measles cases in the U.S. And through May 10th, 839 measles cases have been reported in 23 states. This is the greatest number of cases reported in the U.S. since 1994, and since measles was declared eliminated in 2000. Now, outbreaks have been reported in a number of cities, and with New York City being most especially hard hit. Now, a new study published in the Lancet Infectious Diseases identifies the counties in the U.S. at the highest risk for measles outbreaks according to their analysis. So joining me now is the lead author, Sahotra Sarkar, PhD. Dr. Sarkar is a philosophy and integrative biology professor at the University of Texas at Austin. Dr. Sarkar, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on it.
Thank you. The number of measles cases obviously continue to rise in the U.S. What are the main factors that are contributing to this resurgence of measles in the U.S.?
The most important factor is the low vaccination rate in the U.S., which is a result of the increasing prominence of the anti-vaccination movement all over the country and its success in many states. The second one, of course, is international travel, high volume of international travelers coming in from areas of the world where outbreaks are occurring, and large outbreaks right now are occurring in many, many countries. In the last 2 years, Europe has been one of the big centers with a huge outbreak ongoing in Ukraine, as well as outbreaks in France and Italy, all of them also caused by vaccine refusal. We are also exporting cases from the Philippines where a large outbreak is taking place, and there's a great amount of measles activity in China and India, which are also contributing to travelers bringing the virus into the U.S.
Right.
Now, when travelers bring this virus into the U.S. and there are local pockets of vaccine refusal, as in Brooklyn, New York, that's where we see the gigantic outbreaks.
Right. So with these factors in mind, how did you conduct your analysis to predict which areas of the U.S. are most at risk?
What we did was build what is called a risk function, which takes into account the vaccine refusal rate in a particular county in the U.S., the population of the county, which says something about the density and how many people the disease might spread to if the disease enters it, as well as the size, the passenger volume coming from a country, along with the measles incidence rate in that foreign country, which would be very high when an outbreak happens. When you put all of those four factors together, you can rank all the counties in the U.S., and then we took the top 25 of those and analyzed those more deeply. And in some cases, clearly, vaccine refusal was the dominant factor. In others, travel was the dominant factor. And in some cases, both were involved. In the case of Florida, both were involved, but travel clearly is a very, very important factor.
Right. So what did you find? Which areas are at the top of your list of areas most at risk?
Of the areas most, the ones I want to emphasize really are the ones at the very top, and these are Cook County, Chicago, because of the presence of O'Hare Airport, and then the other one that I typically emphasize is Los Angeles, again because of high amount of international travel, and because until about a year ago, California wasn't one of the states that allowed vaccine refusal, which ended about 2 years ago after they had the massive outbreak in 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, and I'm based out of Florida, and there's really several areas of Florida that are in your top 25.
That's right. And all of these are and in the case of Florida, both a low vaccination rate compared to other states that don't allow philosophical exemptions, coupled with the large number of international travelers that's playing a role in creating high risk.
Okay. Now, this risk analysis that you've done, this can really be used for other vaccine-preventable diseases, right?
Yes. We just would have to replace the incidence rates The vaccine refusal number is more or less going to remain the same because the people who refuse the MMR vaccine for measles also typically refuse all the other vaccines. But what would vary is the activity with respect to the disease in a foreign country and the disease being brought in from that foreign country.
Yeah.
But right now, measles is the highest risk because there's so many outbreaks and going on all around the world.
Right. Okay, perfect. It was a very interesting study. Any final thoughts on it?
No, I'm willing to answer questions, but I don't have more to add to this.
Okay, perfect. And for the listening audience, I'll link to the study on the website when I publish the podcast. And I want to thank you, Dr. Sarkar, for your time and sharing your research with us. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's